no cheesy James Bond jokes. Okay, I just got back from the Skyfall midnight premiere, as you can see. Still wearing the gloves too. Note to self, or actually note to all guys out there, when you're going to see a movie like James Bond, especially at midnight, dress up a little bit. It's James Bond, have fun with it. Let's actually get into this review. So first off, let's do a little bit of background history on Bond. It's been a little over 4 years since we've had a Bond movie. The last movie was Quantum of Solace. The movie Quantum of Solace was considered a disaster compared to a lot of people. To me, I didn't see what the big deal was. I thought it was a good movie. I guess I'm the only one that thought that. And of course, before that we had Casino Royale, which is considered one of the best Bond movies out there. But honestly, I think Skyfall has now surpassed Casino Royale. And also I think Daniel Craig has surpassed every actor who's played James Bond. The movie's directed by Sam Mendes, and he directed a lot of great films such as Revolutionary Road, Jarhead, American Beauty, Road to Perdition, which is one of my favorite movies, and also it was one of Daniel Craig's, one of his first breakthrough American movies. He was very crazy in that movie. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. So now he's taking the reins of James Bond, and I must say he knocked it out of the park completely. He had such a good mix of storyline, dialogue, and action. And of course, he hired on Roger Deakins as the cinematographer. Roger Deakins is my favorite cinematographer. He's kind of the guy who inspired me to do photography and stuff like that. And he doesn't disappoint. If you don't know Roger Deakins' work, he did more notably No Country for Old Men. You probably remember that. He did Jarhead, The Assassination of Jesse James by the Coward Robert Ford. So what really worked well with this movie was, of course, the dialogue. You actually really believe these characters. You know, with Daniel Craig, I actually believe that he is a spy named James Bond, not this over-the-top spy like we see in previous Bond movies, like in the Pierce Brosnan era. Roger Moore, Timothy Dalton was pretty good. He was a good mix between that, I think. Sean Connery at the beginning, but he kind of got silly at the end. George Lisbon, and nobody really remembers that guy. But he's really the realistic Bond. And one thing I love this new direction that they're going in is they're putting Bond on a more human level. And yet they made down to a human level with Casino Royale. They brought him down to a very dark level in Quantum of Solace. And now they kind of got the mix between Casino Royale and Quantum of Solace together. And also they're paying homage to all the past some of the past James Bond movies. There's a few jokes in there that are awesome. A true Bond fan will enjoy it. Another thing that you need for a Bond movie to be really good is the bad guy. So let's talk about the bad guy. And yes, Javier Bardem is the villain, and he is crazy. In my opinion, he is definitely the best Bond villain out there. I can't think of any villain out there that in a Bond movie that can top him. Think of Javier Bardem as the Joker's father. Heath Ledger's Joker, his dad. That would be Javier Bardem. If someone said, "Hey, this guy right here, yeah, that's the Joker's dad," I'd be like, I believe it. His acting in it's extremely scary, but also it's so good though. And Bond really can come back, and you know, they just clash at each other. And that's one thing I really liked about this movie, is that you know a lot about Bond and you know a lot about the bad guy. So Therefore, you're more emotionally invested into these characters now, since you know something about it. And in this movie, you're actually going back and looking at some of Bond's history. I'm not going to go into it because I like it. I like my movie reviews to be completely spoiler-free, so I think everyone needs to see it. But you actually learn a lot about Bond's past, and you actually know Bond more personal now, which I think that's excellent, because for a while we've only seen Bond as this, larger-than-life spy. And, I'm glad they now kind of brought him down a little bit and make us, made him a little more human. Also, you have Judi Dench in this movie as M, of course. She's always fantastic. You actually get to learn a little bit about M. Every other Bond movie always shows M, but just to they just show M just for being M. But here you actually know a little bit about M. And again, you get to go on this adventure with him. It's really awesome. And that's what I liked about this. They got past characters, M and Q. That sounded kind of funny. M and Q. And you actually know Q. I mean, they don't just slap these characters in the movie just for the sake of it. Q in this movie has been redesigned, basically. He's no longer a old geezer who makes little tiny gadgets that would work in the Cold War era. No, he's in the 21st century. There's no need for gadgets anymore. It's all cyber warfare, and this is what Q does. He is more involved with the cyber warfare, and Q Branch, what's actually in the book, Q Branch, will give Bond, some kind of, gadget, but it's not even to me, it's really not even a gadget. It's something that you can buy, on Amazon somewhere. So, and especially in the days of laptops, iPads, smartphones, there's really no need for gadgets. So that's what I liked about it. They made Q relevant, and they just didn't put him in there just for the sake of being Q. They put him in there for the storyline where he fit into the storyline. All in all, this movie was the best Bond movie out there. It is. To me, it's the best Bond movie. And also, I think it's the best movie of the year so far, and I'm putting it all out there. I think it's better than the Avengers. This is hard for me to say, but I think it's also better than The Dark Knight Rises. And I know I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for that, but you can't go wrong with this movie. There is great action, there's great dialogue, great character development, great direction, and awesome camera work. I mean, this movie has it all. You're emotionally invested with these characters. So I really have to say you guys need to see this movie. I give it 5 out of 5 stars. I give it an A+, whatever kind of rating you want to hear. All I gotta say is go see it. It is well worth your time, and if you're a Bond fan, then you probably have already seen it. But if you're a moderate fan, or not even really a fan at all, this is not your typical Bond movie. This is an actual dramatic piece to me. I don't consider this to be even an action movie or a Bond movie. This is just a character development movie, a good drama with action that so happens to center around a man named James Bond. Alright guys, in the comments below, let me know who is your favorite James Bond, which actor you like the best, who's your favorite James Bond villain, and what's your favorite James Bond movie. And if you're really not a fan of Bond, then who is your favorite spy? So, let me know.